أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected Ummah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. The global celebration of Eid al-Adha literally means the festival of sacrifice. The mere fact that Muslims have such a day of celebration in the Islamic calendar shows the importance and significance of this fundamental principle in Islam. By sacrifice, we mean the giving of oneself, wealth, time, and energy, and everything for the cause of Islam. According to the following verses, Muslims cannot escape this most important Quranic concept, whereby Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And most certainly shall we try you by means of danger and hunger and loss of worldly goods, of lives and fruits of your labor, but give glad tidings to those who are patient in adversity, who, when calamity befalls them, say, Verily to Allah we belong, and verily to Him we shall return." This year, the month of al-Hijjah actually falls in the middle of June during summer, when temperatures will be soaring from 45 to 50 degrees Celsius in the holy precincts of Mecca. While such physical risks are real for the Hujjaj, there are far greater challenges facing the Palestinian people in Gaza, whereby more than 36,000 Palestinians, amongst them at least 15,000 children, being murdered on our watch. Are these people not the ones Allah describes in the Quranic verses just mentioned? The ones who have made the ultimate sacrifice, sacrificing with their lives, with their goods and their persons, having written their sacrifice in blood for the sake of Allah, in order to establish Allah's will on this earth. Well, it has been proven to the world, the more committed Muslims are willing to sacrifice to establish Allah's will on this earth, the more this divine world order becomes more dear to the Muslims, and the more it becomes valuable to the non-believing servants of Allah, because through our sacrifices, the world will see the benefits and their unique contribution to humanity, whereby we can conclude that sacrifice is a necessity for social transformation. While in order to do so, we as an ummah always need to reflect on the state of the nation. This year, Eid al-Adha will be more of a commemoration than celebration, with the barbaric Zionist genocide of Palestinians uppermost in our minds. With 2 million plus Hujjaj on Hajj this year, will there be any discussion of the Palestinian plight and how their suffering can be ended? As our beloved Prophet said in the Khutbah al-Wida, just as you regard this month, this day as sacred, so regard the life and property of every Muslim as a sacred trust. Which is much of a sad reflection on the Saudi occupiers of the Haramain, having shown much disdain towards the plight of the Palestinian people in support of the Zionist entity, and for having arrested and interrogated pilgrims for wearing and displaying Palestinian symbols. We must, however, turn to the question of Hajj and what Allah commands us to do, and our guidance comes directly from the Noble Quran and the Prophetic Sunnah. We are guided by Allah's command in Surah At-Tawbah to make an open declaration of disavowal from the mushrikeen on the day of pilgrimage. So on this final day of the pilgrimage, Allah disavows all who attribute divinity, authority to anyone or anything besides Him, and so does His apostle. So the divine command is direct, and Allah commands us to declare our public disavowal from the mushrikeen on the day of Hajj. And this command stays in the face of the stark reality of Hajj under the Bani Saud control. It has been reduced to empty rituals where the pilgrims are forbidden to discuss any burning issues confronting the Ummah, instead of being the annual assembly of the Ummah. Our message on this day of Eid is that Muslims must internalize that the Haramain, Makkah and Medina are not the private property of any regime, clan or family. They are the common heritage of the Ummah. So on this day of Eid al-Adha, just as we are concerned about the liberation of Palestine and its people, similarly steps must be taken to liberate the Haramain from the clutches of the Bani Saud monarchy. If Muslims cannot raise their hands in prayer to seek Allah's help in His house, who and where else can they turn for help? So on this day of Eid al-Adha, let us renew our resolve and add action to our daily prayers, intensify our intentions to make the necessary sacrifices with the reassurance that Allah is 100% with those who dedicate themselves to ensure that His world order reigns on this earth. So on behalf of the Humanology Ladies Circle, we wish to extend sincere greetings to the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our thoughts are especially with the oppressed, the unemployed, and the marginalized. Eid Mubarak to family and friends and neighbors, the frontline workers, sacrificing themselves to heal and feed, striving for for the betterment and preservation of humanity. Eid Mubarak to all our brothers and sisters in the occupied lands, Palestine, Kashmir, Afghanistan, Myanmar, and lastly, Eid Mubarak to all the Muslims who have modeled to the world how to resist and patiently persevere in the face of adversity. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your sacrifices, insha'Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.